Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be over the news that's really not surprising as it came in, I believe, late last night. With the CW being the utter mess that it is and being nothing resembling what it used to be, a channel that I followed for the better part of 2 decades, a line of great shows that came along the way, followed them from beginning to end, and it has been announced that Superman Season 4 will be the last, and is the last DC property on that channel. And again, this is not a surprise. CW's new leadership made it very clear when they bought this channel, or they bought the majority stocks, that they wanted shows or properties that would be profitable. And with the amount of money it takes to produce a show like Superman Lois, with the cast, the special effects, just everything in between that it takes to bring a production like that to life, it's not one bit of a surprise that this show was canceled, beyond the fact that we had the actor strikes, we had the writer strikes, still no premiere date in sight for this last season. And with that said, also the season itself, the show itself, was dramatically cut in budget, down to 10 episodes. More than half the main cast was cut. They would go from series regulars to maybe we would see them in a few guest spots, and it would focus around the Kent family and Lex Luthor to close out the show. And so, along with that too, they recently announced before it was canceled that the writing staff had actually been cut too, where they dismissed, I want to say, probably half the writers. So the fact that this news comes barely a week later is not remotely surprising, and just all around disappointing to see this show go, because it had a lot of potential. Whether or not this show will actually be saved by the likes of maybe HBO has yet to be seen. We've not heard any news. This news that this show is being canceled was just announced, again, I want to say probably last night or early this morning, that it was not going to come back, that the 10 episodes that we're going to get at some point next year is going to be the swan song of this show. And so it's really unfortunate that this show is going, because the cast alone, Tyler Hoechlin did a great job as Superman, played him to a T, played him with such charisma and everything. The writing alone separated the show from pretty much everything else that was left on CW, the remnants of the Arrowverse, which ended earlier this year with the conclusion of The Flash. Now, The Flash, it finished on kind of a weird note, I guess. It wasn't the strongest of episodes that I saw in that series, but it kind of brought things full circle. And as it was sad to see that universe go, it went on its own terms. It went at the right time, where we're getting Superman Lois canceled off, and it had since separated itself from that universe. It's a shame to see it go, because it had potential. It could have been a very good show. It could have easily gotten 2 or 3 more seasons, and could have pushed a lot more than the usual story of Lex Luthor, which is how this show is going to finish out its run. It's just sad to see it go and think of what could have been, but the CW as it stands now is not what it used to be. The owners have no interest in these type of shows, or they're talking about ordering 2 new shows. And from everything that they announced, since they bought the majority shares of the channel, they were not going to go in that direction. We thought they were going to have dumb reality shows or dumb game shows or whatever, but I think it's safe to say that everyone's done with CW. There's nothing there that's worth watching anymore. There's no shows that are keeping people around, so I think it's going to be kind of the final nail in the coffin concerning the whole channel completely. And to kind of close out the video, we did get a statement from the showrunners and producers, and it goes as following. While we're sad to say goodbye to Superman and Lois at the end of Season 4, we're grateful for the time we had with our amazing cast, crew, visual effects teams, editors, musical geniuses, and writers. Since the day the show was first discussed, it was about family, and that's what was created. On and off screen, we'd like to thank our partners at Berlanti Productions, DC, WB, and the CW for the endless support and enthusiasm during this journey, and give a very special thank you to all the fans for tuning in. We're thrilled about what we have in store for our final season, and we can't wait for everyone to watch Superman, Lois, and all of our heroes face off against the biggest threat in show's history, Lex Luthor. So, kind of curious statement there. What do they mean by all of our heroes? Are we going to get some cameos from past Arrowverse characters? Doubtful, because it would cost way too much money, and they've made it clear that they've cut the budget in every way, shape, and form on the show for the last season, which is probably going to run this last season into the ground. I think the only thing that's going to save it is the good writing that we have seen with the past seasons, the acting and all that. But as far as giving the show a proper send-off, I have my reservations, and I'm holding judgment, I guess, until I see it. But with Michael Cutlass coming in at the end of last season to play the part of Lex Luthor, I think it will help it join this ensemble cast. And we saw the new actor, I want to say is Michael Bishop, come in and take over the part of Jonathan Kent. I was sad to see Jordan L. Sasko, but he left for good reasons. And he has, I guess, held up the part, and it's not been just one of those recast situations where the actor just comes in and completely destroys it. But I guess that's my final thoughts on Superman Lois. It was a great show, had a lot of potential, could have done so much more than they did if they just weren't limited by the people that own the channel, own the rights to it and everything. So I guess that'll do it, guys. If you enjoyed the video, if you enjoyed my thoughts about it, please leave your likes down below, leave comments, and of course subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. So until next time, guys, I will see you later. Bye.